We got to talk about the Carolina-Clemson rivalry because you went undefeated in the rivalry. You obviously had some major plays, and I just want to get your take. Again, you're able to stay in-state. You're an in-state guy, so I know that rivalry had to mean a lot to you. Just talk about playing in that rivalry, how much pride you take now going undefeated, and, of course, we've got to talk about 2012, the hit as it's known. And I'm sure it was like a quick rush of emotion, but you just flat out lay out Andre Ellington and get in his face and kind of let out the emotion. Talk about that. Talk about the rivalry as a whole. Some of your best memories from it.
Yeah, man. Clemson was kind of like it was kind of a hate thing. I took it more personal because I'm 45 Greenwood upstate. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't but 45 to an hour to get to Clemson from Greenwood. And I would always, growing up, my auntie went to Clemson, so I was familiar with Clemson growing up. So, that was one of the games, one of the only like big time games that I went to as a kid, Clemson. So I kind of had them in the back of my mind growing up. I wasn't sure that I wanted to go to Clemson, but I definitely wanted the offer. You get what I'm saying? Knowing that they were 45 minutes away, that's the closest college that I got from my house. So, and they were recruiting me, but it was like a lot of guys were committing, and they was like, okay, well, we gonna hold back on the offer, or we might offer you, and then it was like, bro, I got 20 offers from everywhere else, but I don't have the offer from 45 minutes from where I live. So it was kind of like, okay. I committed to South Carolina my senior year, and I'll never forget this day. My senior year, we was in Greenwood High School. It was me and Sam Montgomery. My coach called us to the office. Dabo Sweeney was in the office with his D coordinator at the time, and they was telling me, they were like, at the time, that's when their coach had got fired, and that's when Dabo took over, and he came in. He was like, okay. He was like, man, Swearinger, man, I just watched your film. He was like, man, I want you. And this is a month, probably 2 weeks before signing day. He was like, man, I got your film. We want to get you in. We got the offer on the table. We just need you to come and visit. And I was just like, I didn't heard this forever. Like, it's like, bro, I'm committed to South Carolina. I'm like, I remember walking in. I'm like, he said that. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it, coach, but I'm committed to South Carolina. And I never lose to Clemson my 4 years there. And I left. I left out of the meeting room. I left Sam in there, Sam and my coaches in there. And I ended up going, and I wanted to stand on it. I wanted to stand on what I told Dabo, that I would not lose, because I felt some type of way without not getting the offer. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up getting to Carolina. Go 4-0, of course. And the last game was kind of like the stamp for me, because it was, I was 3-0. And I remember saying that I would never lose to Clemson my time there. And, I remember that whole game. I'm just telling DeAndre Hopkins and Andre Ellington, I'm just like, bro, I'm going to catch one of y'all. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking so much trash the whole game. And I remember before that game, when they do the starters and they boo everybody. Like, I remember I got more boos than Coach Spurrier got. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it made me so excited. It was like I love that. You know what I'm saying? That I'm the most hated person in Clemson. You get what I'm saying? Because of, the things that the build up. And that hit was kind of like, it was definitely big emotion. I remember when I hit him, I said, when I squatted down, I hit him with the flex. I told him, I told you. You feel me? It was like a big I told you. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I had to get it out. I had to do it because, it was just from the 4 years, that was the hit that I wanted to get. And I ended up getting it. We ended up getting the win. Unfortunately, I got the 15-yard penalty, but I guess that was one of the best 15-yard penalties I ever got, man. But and we ended up getting a pick 2 plays later. So it was ended up being a good game, man, and a good way to leave Clemson 0-4. You know what I'm saying, with that stretch. Being from South Carolina, being from Greenwood, being from the upstate, it felt great to have that under my wing.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's complaining about that penalty, DJ. It's funny you talk about that 2012 game. I want to ask you specifically. I don't know if you've seen this clip, and I don't even know where it came from, but there's a clip that's floated around Twitter, and it's pregame of 2012. And you guys are running out, and I guess like Taj Boyd, or they're playing catch. You just random catch, and you just come and you just swat the ball away. And you're basically like, it's not going to go down today. Like, talk about that, because like that's almost funnier than in game. Like pregame, you were letting them know, like you said, I am not going to lose to Clemson tonight. Like, no chance.
Yeah, man. It was before the game, we fired up, and we were walking. I mean, we coming out of the tunnel. They end up being right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first out of the tunnel. I see them throwing the ball, laying up, going and swatting it down, talking a little trash, saying it's gonna be that all night. Y'all ain't complete a pass. Y'all won't complete a pass all night. So just talking trash, just trying to get into their heads. That was one of the goon squad mentalities, to try to put fear in the opponent's head, whether it was talking trash, whether it was doing it with your pass. A lot of guys, especially on the offensive side, some guys, they tend to, if they're worrying about me, they're not worrying about what their job needs to be. And that's something that I've been able to kind of do all my career. It's kind of get into guys' heads, and it affect them. It doesn't affect me because it's kind of my, I've been doing it all my life, So I think that set the tone for that Clemson game for sure, and we ended up getting the win.